With Alberto Del Rio looking to make his debut for AEW and more, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for December 29th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at WrestlingHubOfficial, and also follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. While she is in a championship feud with Charlotte Flair, Toni Storm endured a long period of waiting after she was called up to the main roster. On Out of Character, Storm revealed this about her time sitting in catering. It's the worst, cause you just don't know. Obviously, wrestling can be so unpredictable. Next week you could be main eventing and winning a title, and everything could be happening or nothing. You don't know. This is show business at the end of the day. It's a topsy-turvy industry. When you're sat in catering, it's not a good feeling. Just sitting there waiting for your shot, waiting for your big break, waiting to show everyone what you've worked your life to be good at. I just sat there asking, when am I next? What's happening? Now when stuff starts happening, I'm still like, what's going on? Oh my god, what is my life? For the Christmas Eve edition of SmackDown, Storm was unable to defeat Flair to become women's champ, as we'll have to see what is next. Kurt Angle has wrestled the best of the best in pro wrestling, as he recalled what it was like squaring off against the WWE chairman Vince McMahon in the early 2000s. Well, the week before on Raw, you took on Vince McMahon one-on-one in the middle of the ring, as he likes to say. What is it like wrestling the boss, especially this early in your career? Vince is crazy as hell. So, on the other side, it didn't surprise me because Vince is that crazy. So we know he's crazy, but we also know he's a genius. But we also know he can't wrestle worth a lick. So what was it like actually being in the ring with him and trying to get him to do what you need him to do? What was it like? Usually your opponent flows with you, and you kind of flow together, and you have great chemistry. But with Vince, it's choppy and rough. It's like dancing with an elephant. With Goldberg last defeating Bobby Lashley at Crown Jewel, it has been reported that the WCW legend has one more match left on his WWE contract. Speaking on the Pat McAfee show, Goldberg mentioned that he needs surgery after his pro wrestling career. I won't tell everybody on national radio or television that my shoulder has been destroyed for the last 3 years, 5 years, 8 years. I need surgery, but I'll get it when I'm done. I'll get it when I'm finished. It's one of those things. Here's the deal. If Vince calls me tomorrow morning and says, hey Goldberg, we need you in a month, what am I going to do if I get surgery, right? I'll get her done when it's time. Goldberg would also recall the backstage politics he had to deal with in WCW, saying this led him to being paranoid of others wanting to bury him in WWE. People wonder why the way I was when I arrived in WWE for the first time. I was a man that was always looking behind his back. I always had my back up against the wall, because I thought people would give me that positive advice that I thought was going to help me, but ultimately it was to bury me. It is what it is. I'm very respectful of all of those guys who have worked for 25 years to jump off a building for $15 to get on television. Speaking about his second run in WWE, Goldberg noted, I came back for a number of reasons. First and foremost, because I owed the business something. I owed the business something that I hadn't given in the past. And after a 16-year hiatus, and obviously the birth of our son, it all changed. I felt really guilty about receiving so much from the business and then not really giving back per the fans. Following a 7-year hiatus from wrestling, Christian would make his comeback during the Royal Rumble. Since that time, he's left WWE and made his debut for AEW and returned to Impact Wrestling. Speaking to ET Canada, he talked about his decision to join AEW. It's a gift, it really is. To get my career back, to be able to take it back after losing it for 7 years is special. And for me at this stage, I just wanted the right platform where I could finish my career the way that I wanted to. I wanted to do it on the biggest stages, a place that would give me the best opportunities. And along with that, being able to help out the generation coming up behind me. AEW is the perfect fit for me in that respect. Having one conversation with Tony Khan about it, I wasn't even halfway through the conversation with him, and I was like, this is the place for me. It was based solely on him. Obviously, he had assembled a great roster of talent, but more than anything, I wanted to work for him. I wanted to be a part of AEW and help it grow. During that same interview, Christian touched on the prospect of Jeff Hardy joining AEW given his release from WWE. Yeah, of course, I expect him to join AEW. There's so much history there, and obviously I'm very close with Matt Hardy as well. It's been great to reconnect with him in AEW. He's kind of doing the same thing as far as mentoring the younger generation the same way. He's also got a wealth of knowledge. Jeff is an extremely talented guy, a really good guy. I'm sure at some point that will happen. With Ric Flair saying Jeff could easily join AEW and his brother Matt hinting at a Hardy Boys reunion, we'll have to see what the future holds for the charismatic enigma. During Raw on October 25th, Wang Yang would return to WWE to become a backstage producer. As he split from the company yesterday, there was a rumor going around that he chose to leave his position, with him taking to Twitter to dispel this notion. I don't particularly appreciate seeing this narrative saying that I quit. It takes a lot for me to quit anything. Almost a month ago, WWE chose not to move forward with me being a producer, and I was perfectly fine with their decision. I don't think you've seen the last of me. There are many critical of the SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, but WWE Hall of Famer Jeff Jarrett gave his take on Charlotte's athletic ability, saying in this respect, she's superior to her father Ric Flair. I believe Charlotte Flair may be the very best athlete on the entire roster in WWE, not just females, but I'm talking about males and females. What she does night in and night out. You know her old man Rick probably gets mad, but she is a far superior athlete to her father and a far superior athlete. I don't think people realize just how athletic she is. Again, with her looks and her presence, ring presence, and her name that all go with it, but at the end of it, what she can do with the night in and night out, bell to bell, is pretty remarkable. Entrances have become a staple of professional wrestling, as a well-made theme or even some pyro can be the difference maker for an up-and-coming star. Talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin's iconic entrance, Booker T noted on his podcast that today's walkouts are not as captivating. I'll tell you man, I always wanted that intro, it was so cool. Just to watch that actual glass breaking, not the music. But when the glass broke and he came out, I was like man, whoever thought about that, he needs a raise. And that's what captivated me with wrestling so much back in the day. Y2J's entrance back in the day. The first time we saw it, how awesome was that? I was always captivated by the entrances of the wrestlers back in the day, and it's a little bit different now. It's not the same, but everything's different now because of the internet. Following the release of music composer Jim Johnston from WWE, the company turned to CFO $, as they were doing a great job of filling his shoes. Now they are gone, and WWE themes are as bland as ever. Recently, former NXT star Kyle O'Reilly made his debut for AEW, aligning with his old Undisputed Era stablemates in Bobby Fish and Adam Cole. On the Throwing Down podcast, Cole revealed he did not talk to O'Reilly about signing with AEW. I kind of let him make his own decision, because the last thing I wanted to do in any way, shape, or form was try to talk him into doing something, because Kyle's very good at making the right call, and making the right decision, and I knew he was going to do what was best for him and his family. And as he was weighing the options out and we were talking again, I was just there kind of as a soundboard, and Kyle just decided on his own what we wanted to do, and I think he made the right call, and I'm very excited he's here. Now Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly are set to make their trios debut when they take on the Best Friends on Dynamite. Following charges against him of being dropped, Alberto Del Rio would stir up some more controversy recently by threatening to release videos of his ex-fiancée, WWE star Paige, allegedly assaulting him. Now he looks set to make his debut for AEW, with him telling Sportskeeda yes, that is possible. I've spoken to a lot of people, and just like I said earlier, I know everybody. They were all talking about it, and they saw what happened, and they know it was not fair for me, my career, and my life, so they are all going to be giving me an opportunity. I would say it is just a matter of time for me and them to put something together and decide where we are going to go. Back in October, Fightful reported that WWE, MLW, and Impact had no interest in bringing Del Rio in, as AEW at that time reportedly had not heard anyone mention him possibly coming to the promotion. Given he's out of his legal situation, it's possible he could make his return to the ring. back in July, Bray Wyatt would be shockingly released from WWE. Many were caught off guard by this news, given the success of his character, The Fiend. With Metro special makeup effects artist Jason Baker revealed the freedom Bray Wyatt was given by Vince McMahon for his Firefly Funhouse. We stayed up until 2, 3 in the morning just chatting about what we could do, what we should do, what we probably couldn't do. We're probably not going to get away with that, so we should just drop this idea now. Just things like that. But there was some potential for other characters, other puppets, other looks, other things. That's the thing. We were always just trying to add something new to it, something fresh, and just keep it going. I wasn't there every week. I wasn't there all the time, but I will say this. A lot of times guys like Vince would listen to ideas. They'd really take it under consideration and allow us to run rampant with a lot of things. At a particular time, I remember when we first started it, there was a time when we could just do whatever we wanted, and Vince was like, okay guys, I trust you. I don't know the ins or outs of what happened or what went down, but he was very open. He listened to us, he listened to ideas. I think that's definitely credit to him. In November, it was announced that Wyatt would be making his first post-WWE appearance in Dallas for WrestleCon next year. Despite stars being pulled from WWE's recent holiday tour, Kevin Owens was seen at those live events, as fans had a fun time watching him destroy the Christmas decorations. A compilation of these incidents were posted to Twitter. Here's the clip.
Watched the game, Robbie Brown said whatever he said to our GM, and he chased it down the ice and stuck it with him. Neither one of them would ever say what he said.
Just watch this preview, stupid penguin! Yeah!
At the Day 1 pay-per-view, Owens will find himself facing off for the WWE title in a match against the champion Big E, Bobby Lashley, and potentially Seth Rollins, but his status is up in the air given his announcement of being COVID positive. In some great news, AEW commentator Jim Ross took to Twitter to let fans know that he is cancer-free, as fans should be excited to see him back on commentary tonight for Dynamite. Despite challenging for a title recently, Sean Ross Sapp has broken news that Toni Storm is done with WWE. Fightful has been informed Toni Storm is gone from WWE. I've confirmed this news with the company. Mike Johnson of PW Insider also confirmed this story independently, as we wish Storm all the best. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.